the SM Media Podcast Network.
Hi folks and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media East of Scotland football show. I'm Scott McPike. It is always a pleasure to be your host and I am really grateful to be joined by my special guest for tonight. It's a pleasure to welcome the manager of the second division champions Armadale Thistle, Colin Strickland.
Hi Scott, how you doing? Thanks for having me on, mate, again.
It's a pleasure. Thanks very much for coming on, mate. It's really always good to get you on and talk about East of Scotland. Very sad week for the East of Scotland. Obviously, we've all been rocked by the sad news about the passing of Brian Morgan. I have to say and be honest, I think I maybe spoke to Brian maybe once or twice. I didn't know him well enough to kind of talk about how good he was. All you need to do is look at tributes to him on social media and speak to people who were around him on a regular basis and realise just how nice a guy he was and how good a player he was as well. So our thoughts go out to his family and friends. Like Colin, obviously, well, you'll have played against him. You'll know people who knew him. Like just a really, really sad loss, and just can't think enough about his family at the moment.
No, it's horrendous news, Scott. I played against Morgie all my days coming through, and he was a fantastic player. But I've got ex-teammates that played with him, and I've actually got two players in my own dressing room that played with him, and I think you can see with the tribute. I think he was a fantastic person as well, and condolences go to his family and his wife and his young daughter. It's absolutely tragic, and he was a top player, but ultimately I think with all these tributes you can see how touching he was, and he was a top guy as well.
Yeah, and a really good career in the game as well, playing like Socky, Bowness United as well. Like a really good story coming out about him playing in the cup final, and like just again like obviously Fraser Duncan being his brother-in-law as well. Like Socky were his club, and like you've seen as well the kind of tributes they paid to him as well. Like the one thing I will say is everybody kind of bringing together their stories. Like a community is just kind of galvanised by just remembering them in the right way. And I always think that's important in these kind of times. Like it's important that if you do have a story about Brian, like share it and just talk about just how good a guy he was and just how good a player and how storied a career he had in the game.
No, definitely. He was, as I said, I reiterate it, he was a top player, but we had many battles. Not me personally, in terms of Morgan was a centre midfield player and I played up top, but he played in right good soccer teams, and he was obviously a right good lad, and it's just good sort of poured out to him, and it's hopefully the more people share their stories and the good ones about him, but it's just heartbreaking, Scott.
Yes, and we're sending our best wishes to his friends and family and everyone connected with Socky and all the clubs he played for and everyone who knew him well. Like we'll just send them our best, and hopefully we can do our bit to try and kind of pay tribute to Brian. In terms of kind of like looking at the leagues over the weekend and looking at the season, Colin, obviously with yourself winning the second division, like an amazing achievement for yourselves, like remarkable. I did predict that at the start of the season. I did say you were going to be up there, so I'd like to say I'd maybe throw you on a wee bit, but now, like, in all seriousness, like a remarkable season you have had, and just looking at your record, 20 wins for 25 games. I spoke to you in the middle of the season, and there was actually a part of me was going like, get that 60 points and you'll be good. And you'll beat that easily. 62 already, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just been a brilliant season and a really tough league as well.
Yeah, but the boys have been tremendous, Scott. The consistency they've shown throughout the season, and not just in the league. In terms of we've had some right good cup runs in the Junior Scottish Cup, and we're in the semi-final of the King Cup. But I think we won 12 out of the first 13 league games. So we gave ourselves a right good platform to kick on in the second half of the season. We knew it was never going to, we were only going to have the same second half of the season as we did the first, because teams were fighting for a life, so they're either going for promotion or everybody's got different goals. The pitches are softer and they're harder places to go, but we've done the groundwork at the start of the season, and we've managed to get it over the line, and to do it, we get promotion with 5 games to go and win the league with 4 games to go. It's a credit to the group of players.
And there's a tremendous spread of goals in the squad as well, and that's one thing I noticed when you kind of look at the league table, like 70 goals, like 17 goals conceded as well. Like, you're just complete in every area. Like, what about that? Like, that run at the start of the season, like in terms of kind of laying down a marker, you couldn't have asked for a better start.
No, as you say, you always want to start the season well, and we couldn't have started it any better. But we did drew. I think we drew the second game this season away at Oakley, but after that, I think it was 9-10 wins in a row. But we've managed to recruit as the seasons went on as well, Scott, which has also helped. We've brought in good players that have played at a good level. Like the squad we had to start the season, we ended up getting the likes of Ryan Robertson later in pre-season, just before the season started, and then Jack Sayre became available again with Jack on loan. We know how good he was last season, so we couldn't have turned that one down. And then we managed to get Callum Heath, he became available, and then Marcus Miller later on. So we've added to the group, and we've just got stronger as the seasons went on in terms of player-wise and squad-wise, and as I say, we've got over the line pretty comfortably in the end.
And the Junior Cup as well, how good an experience was that to go quite deep in that competition?
Oh, it was great. It was great for the town. It was great for the club, the supporters, and the players. We had some fantastic games. We played Hurlford at home, probably 400 at the game. Then we went away to Troon, 400 or 500 at that game, and nobody really gave us a chance in the games. And fortunately, we managed to take them at penalties, and we've got a top goalkeeper, Andy Murphy, and we managed to get through the ties. And then the build up to the Largs game was just a great occasion for the full town. I think we took 500 supporters down to Largs, and it was great for us. It was a wee bit heartbreaking in the end, but Largs did deserve to win the game. They probably would have felt hard done by if we had got to penalties, but we had a game plan that nearly worked. But overall, the full run and what it done for the club and the town, and it was huge. It was huge for everybody, and it was a great experience.
And looking at like what, like as we'll get into like later, like Bo'ness have done and Whitburn have done before them as well, there must be a wee bit of ambition in you that you can go up to the first division and compete again for promotion. That must be kind of already like in the mind, especially based on the kind of cup runs you've had. Like looking at some of the teams you've beat as well, like Hurlford and Troon, like they're big sides, and you must be feeling we can actually go on and kick on if we keep this squad together.
Yeah, well, I said last season, said through this season that last season, a lot of people, they like to hear it, but it was probably the best thing that happened to us not getting promoted. On the last day of the season at Burnt Island, when I was standing there and we never went up, I never felt like that at the time, but once you assess it and the way this season's panned out, it probably was a good thing for us as a group, because we were a new group together, and as I say, we've added to it, and now I think we're well prepared and a lot better prepared to go up to this division. And I think the first division next year, Scott, will be the wide open. I don't think there's any big hitters in it like your Bo'nesses and Camelins, and I think everybody will think and fancy themselves to have a wee chance of being at the top end, and we're no different.
And yeah, I think it's the making of a good league, and we'll get into like the second division as well, like throughout the kind of night where we talk about the games at the weekend. A big result as well for you on Saturday, 6-1 over Oakley. But looking at the Premier Division, let's start with that at the weekend. Musselburgh versus Hillabees. I think everybody was keen to see what happened, and I kind of played down last week that it was going to be a league decider because Hillabees had the games in hand, but looking at it now, like Musselburgh look pretty good now, don't they?
Yeah, I think they'll go over the line now. They've kind of led. I think they've led for the first day a bit similar to ourselves and Camelin, and they've obviously as it got. I said this even to my own players: the closer it's not easy to win league titles, and the closer it gets, the harder it gets. And we were the same, and I'm sure Musselburgh were the same, and they obviously dropped a cup. They lost a couple of games there, but that was a huge game for them on Saturday, and I think if Hillbeef had won it, they've got the momentum. I think they've got another game in hand. Am I right?
Yeah, they play on Wednesday. I think Luncarty. I think they play.
They won that, but I think that 3 point for Musselburgh is huge, and I think that'll be enough to get them over the line now.
And like whoever Musselburgh do win it, they will go on and play Clydebank, and we've seen three teams go up in the lower league and do themselves justice. Certainly, like Trinent, Broxburn, Inland Lithgow all go on and do really well. Like if Musselburgh were to beat Clydebank and go up, like you can see them doing the same.
Yeah, 100%. I think they're a good club. Musselburgh have been on that for many years now, and I don't see any reason if they. I think personally, I think it's a big ask for them to get by Clydebank, because I think obviously Clydebank are a top side. I don't even think Clydebank want to bypass the lower league. I think they historically them as a club, they want to get back into seniors, so it'll be a big ask to get by them over 2 games. But if they do, I'm sure they'll give them a game. Musselburgh will go more than hold their own in the lower league. I'm sure of that.
And like Hillbeef as well, I think Robbie's done a terrific job this season. Like I did not see them challenging for a title, so it's been a marvellous achievement for Robbie to get them even fighting for that.
Yeah, they've been really consistent. Hillbeef, been on a fantastic run actually. I know Ross Allen well. He's in there as a player coach now. I played with Ross on Lithgow, and he's had good things to say about the new manager. And I think they're only gone one way now as well. When come next season, I think they'll be looking to go one step better and hopefully try and win it next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a couple of sides, obviously, that very good results at the weekend in the Premier Division. Haddington won 3-0 at home to Whitburn. Dundonald Bluebell in a really good run at the moment, won 3-0 at home to Dunipace. Like for a lot of these sides, obviously, it's their kind of season's done in terms of the league, but they're no stopping. Like they're just, again, you're not asking a lot of them to stop, but a lot of teams would be like, right, we're just kind of, the season's by, we can kind of put our feet up, but a lot of them are keeping going.
That's it, and a lot of these managers as well, they'll be probably building and preparing for next season, and they'll have one eye on that. So if you can have a good end to the season, it can kick you on to next season in terms of, and there might be other boys as well playing for contracts, etc. But yeah, we're always playing for something, whether it's you're at the bottom or the top or in the middle. There's always something to play for, and I'm sure all the managers are the same.
And what about like the other end of the table? Hutchison Vale beating Jeanfield 1-0. Obviously secure. I think that means all three, like Edinburgh Uni, even though they won against Pennycook, Edinburgh Uni, Luncarty and Tynecastle were all relegated. I think Stevie Craig at Hutchison Vale's done a really good job. I know we had him on as well, we'll talk about this, but like they're a side that when a rat of turmoil, he's come in and steadied the ship, and they've done really well, I think, to be where they are.
I know Stevie well. He's through our way. He's done a fantastic job. I think it's the right club for Stevie. He's big on his youth. He's got his own academy, his own coaching stuff, and he's big on bringing through youth. And there's no better club than Hutchie Vale, who's historically been great at that. And I think it's a perfect club for him. And he's went in there and he's done really well and played at the top level as well. And he's got great contacts, so there was no doubt about it. He was going to go in there and do very well.
And like, is there any kind of sides as well, like looking at the kind of season so far that you've been quite impressed with, the way they've went about their business? Like people know I'd Haddington to go down and they're fourth. Dunbar have really done well. Like again, I would even go Pennycook. There was a lot of transition. Like in Socky, I know like obviously they'll be catching up in games, but they've had a tough season and they'll be looking to go again. There's a lot of sides like you mentioned about the first division being competitive. I think the Premier Division next season is going to be incredible.
No, I agree with you. I think they could be very similar. I think the two leagues could be the same. It'll be big. It'll be all about recruitment as well. The teams get the recruitment right, because even like Boness and Cayman, they'll come in and I'm sure they'll be in the top half of the table as well, challenging at that end. So that's going to be a proper competitive league, yes.
Into the first division, 3 promotions in a row for Boness Athletic. Congratulations to them on doing that. And I remember speaking to Wally, and obviously Wally will be on the show next week, and talking to him about they want to be a Premier Division club. That's their ambition. They've got there, and I've been very impressed with the way they went about it.
Yeah, Boness, I mean, they've been outstanding for years now. We we've unfortunately, I think I spoke to you the last time I was on, we've been in the same league as them all the way up, and we managed to thankfully get rid of them this season because they're a top side. They've got Ian Campbell who's in there who recruits well for them. I don't think he gets many wrong, if any, and the recruitment's outstanding, and the players have got, they seem to sell players on, and then they just keep bringing top players in, and I'd no doubt that Bo'ness would have went into that league, and I'm not surprised that they've been promoted.
Yeah, and like they look at the talent they've got, and obviously they've done well in recruitment and bringing players in. They're a side that can kick on. Like similar to Camelin as well. They're two sides that you can see really pushing forward next season.
Aye. I think, as I say, I think they'll have their own aspirations of going up and challenging for the Premier League. They've got the players for it. Camelin's got the players for it. So there'll be a problem for teams coming into that league. They'll not just be going in to make the numbers up. They'll be 100% sure they'll be challenging at the top half of that table.
Newton Grange join them, do you think?
I think so. I think they've done enough now. I think they just missed out last year, and I was speaking to Adam Nelson, who a friend of mine who used to play with Adam, and I think they're pretty quietly confident with the remaining fixtures that they'll manage to get over the line, and I hope they do because Adam's he's unbelievable. He's 40-year-old now. He's still playing. He's a captain. It's his hometown club, so I'd love it for him if they can go up with another promotion.
And there's some good sides as well who have pushed them really well. Like Heriot Watt, I've been really impressed with. Crossgates as well. They'll be a side that can kick on. And then, like you mentioned, like there's a lot of decent sides in there and a lot of stable sides like Kirkcaldy, Whitehill have been good, Thornton, Blackburn, Edinburgh South. Like, there's a lot of sides in there. It's shaping up. Like they've all been really solid and consistent.
Yeah, even Edinburgh South, who picked us last year, Ainsley's done a fantastic job there. I don't think he's got the biggest of budgets, and they always go in to fight their corner, and they give everybody a game, and I think in the end they've managed to stay up. I was talking to him, and it was about, obviously they were just want to stay in the league, and I think they've managed to stay in there pretty comfortably now. And Conrad, he's went in and done a great job at Kirkcaldy as well. I think it's his first year in management, and everybody knows his brother Tam, who's a top manager, went on, so it looks like that's in the genes there.
What about the kind of bottom end of that table? Like, big result for Preston, winning 3-1 at Lochoa. Lochoa have got a game in hand. Inverkeithing are down. Canoe are down as well, I think. I think they've confirmed that they're down, I believe. I think somebody confirmed. Nah, maybe not.
No, Canoe 23
Canoe can stay
points,
up, 23. Yeah, like it'd be a massive achievement for them if they do. Like again, they've got 3 games to play. Well, the next 2 games are Leith and Lochoa, so I think I maybe if they lose both those games, they're down. Like again, it's shaping up to be really interesting at that kind of bottom end of the table as well. And when you're fighting for your life, anything can happen. Yeah,
it's crucial that they're probably looking at it there. There's Lochoa up to, I think, even Preston are probably safe now. So I think it's 1 out of 3, Leith, Arniston, Lochoa. So as you say, who can keep their nerve and hit a wee bit of form in the last couple of games at the end of the season? That's got to be huge for the 3 clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into the second division. We're only 3 games. Armadale 6, Oakley 1. Gillespie with a hat-trick, Miller, Heath and Hamilton. Like, the spread of goals he's had was incredible, but Gillespie getting a hat-trick, how good a day was that for him?
It was great, because Josh actually got a terrible injury against Peebles earlier in the season. He broke his wrist and he broke his shoulder or his collarbone at the same time, all on the one side as well. So he got an absolutely horrific injury. So he's fought back to come back, and he's not had a lot of game time recently. But we know what Josh can do, especially at home in AstroTurf. He's got fantastic ability, and it doesn't surprise anybody that he went out and scored a hat-trick on Saturday.
And at this point as well, like when you're 5 games away wrapping up the title, like how important is it not to take your foot off the gas and go and get these kind of tallies and keep the players motivated to do the same?
Yeah, well that's what I've reiterated that to the players. We need to finish the season strongly. We've got a massive semi-final coming up a week on Wednesday as well, so everybody will be fighting for what to play in that game. So the squad will get used over the next 2 or 3 games, and I'm sure everybody will want to play in that semi-final. So everybody will get the opportunity to get the opportunity to go and play in it. So we'll see how that goes.
SM Media's East of Scotland Football League coverage is proudly sponsored by Appin Sports. Want your team to stand out next season? Then Appin Sports are here to help. Their online kit designer lets you create your dream custom teamwear in your club's colours and with your club crest, sponsor logos, player names and numbers. Design yourself or work with their expert design team to bring your vision to life. Every order of custom teamwear also secures your place in their online club shop, making reordering effortless and giving supporters a place to get your amazing gear too. Get started on giving your team a stunning new look and head to appinsports.com to make your team's 2025-26 kits unforgettable. West Calder are into third, they won 6-3 at home to Stirling Uni. I think they've got a lot of talent as well, and they've leveling used with goals at this stage of the season. They've obviously just their kind of big thing's been defence, but they've got a lot of talent up front as well.
West Calder are a right good experienced team, and I think Jamie McAllister's been the difference for them. He was actually in doing pre-season with us at the time as well, and he's a top player. Jamie probably should be playing at a higher level, and West Calder done well to get him in. And I think if they manage to get over the line and get promoted, that'll be he'll have played a huge part in it.
And other team, obviously, big result for Dalkeith as well. They move out of the relegation zone with 1-1 at Bathgate. Like, it shows you just at this stage of the season what a result can do. Like, Bathgate would have been looking at that thinking we can keep in the promotion spot here, and Dalkeith are fighting for their lives. And have you been surprised with where Dalkeith are?
A wee bit. I didn't expect them to. I wasn't sure if they would be up there challenging, but I didn't think they would be anywhere near where they are. And I think Joke will be a wee bit disappointed because they showed on their day they went and matched Broxburn and won the televised cup game. But I don't know if they've had bad injuries or stuff like that. But I think Dalkeith will get out it. I think they will. I think they've had a couple of wins lately. I think they beat West Calder and they beat Bathgate, so have a wee bit of confidence and a wee bit of momentum now. But it's got to be tough. There's a couple of teams there that I thought Heart Hull were out a couple of weeks ago. They put a fantastic run together, went 1-4 in a row, I think, and it just shows you. And the other team, Vale Leithen and Dalkeith, are all doing the same. So actually, the bottom teams are in good form. So they're probably thinking they need more points than they thought they would have needed to stay up.
And for the other two promotion spots, like, do you think, like, even looking at like Edinburgh College as well, like, a really good young squad, like 4 for 2 places? Do you think there's anybody else can maybe sneak in?
No, I think that's probably it. I think there's a huge game on Saturday. I think Bathgate are playing Edinburgh College at home, so I think, to be honest, I think College would need to win their last 3 games. I think they've got Bathgate, West Calder, then they play us on the last day. It's looking at it now, it's in West Calder's hands. Bathgate's obviously had a couple of back-to-back bad results, but I think they've just got to keep churning it out because they've nobody been really that consistent, and it shows that no results are certainty. Either it could be second against second bottom, as it showed you when Bathgate played Vale Leithen and they went and played Dalkeith on Saturday, and there's no easy games in this league, so you need to be at it every Saturday if you want to get the 3 points. So I think that'll go down to the wire as well, Scott.
And what about the kind of third division as well? Another really good story, Linton Hotspur coming up as well, second season in the East of Scotland structure, and they're going to be playing second division football next season. And everybody was telling me last year, wait till Linton Hotspur get a season in the league and wait to see what they do. And it shows you, like, these clubs are coming in and they're not just here to make up the numbers, they're going up looking to be ambitious.
No, I thought Linton would do well this season. You see, I've never been there myself, but seen pictures and videos of their ground, and it looks fantastic. They've got a great wee setup there, and they had Kingy in at the start of the season who done a great job, and then they've brought in Paul Curry, and they've not only got a manager, they've got a top class player as well, because I see Paul scored the one on Saturday to get them promoted, so having him on the pitch as well is probably give them that wee bit of experience and help them get them over the line.
And who do you think joins them? Because that's a really tight race in there as well.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think Storyburn, my hometown club, they've still got a chance. Faltus have got a chance. There's two other ones, if I get it up.
Yeah. Hoyk in 40, Livingston United 38, Falthouse and Pomfrey 37, Stonyburn 36, Edinburgh United 34. Edinburgh United probably they certainly need Hoyk to drop off. Like, it's probably between the five, I would say, for one place. And again,
I think it's between Falthouse, Stonyburn, and Hoyk. I think it'll be between the three. If I'm looking at the league, I think Livingston's maybe run out of games. It's got to be tight. It's got to be a hard one to predict. I think a few of them are still to play each other as well. So it just shows you how competitive all the leagues are. They're all, whether it's relegation or promotion, it looks like they all could go down to the last day of the season. And
like Lochgelly as well, they've been a side that went down and then they're obviously coming back up. Like it's good to see them obviously not, because you can see a lot of sides do maybe struggle sometimes to kick on when they've been relegated. Like, they've been a side that have absolutely done that and really impressed.
Yeah, I think they won the league comfortably. Well, they've not won have they won the league yet? No.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
Well, they won it, I think, they've probably got to win it comfortably in the end. And they've got the boy, is it Boundy, and the boy Russell up top. So if you've got goal scorers, and I think one's on 30 and one's on 20, so if you've got boys at the top end of the pitch scoring, you've got to be at the right end of the table, that's for sure. But they've done fantastic. They've had a great season.
And like you mentioned, obviously the semi-final of the King Cup, like the way that the kind of cups are falling at this stage of the season, like playing Bo'ness again, it'll be a big occasion. Leith play Bathgate in the other semi-final. Like, you'll be hoping. I know. Like, imagine like winning the league and then winning a cup as well. It'd be a dream season if you could do that. Is that something that would kind of top it off for you?
That'd be brilliant, but we know how big an ask it will be to beat Bo'ness. They're a top side, and we've played them many a times, as I've said over the years, and I think we've only beat them once in my time there. And they've beat us every other game, and all the times they've beat us comfortably. But we're a new side now, and it'll be interesting to see how far we've actually come in terms of, because I thought Bo'ness, to be honest with you, Bo'ness were miles ahead of us, and that's credit to them. But we're trying to build something ourselves, so hopefully we can go out, we can make a good account of ourselves in the night, and you just never know. We're shown in one-off cup ties, especially in the Scottish Cup, if you get that wee bit of luck and everybody's on it, then it's possible. But we'll take care of that when it comes. We've obviously got Saturday's league game first to get over, and then we'll see where we are going into the Wednesday night game.
And like the final question before we wrap up, like your own growth as a manager as well, getting into management quite young. Like how have you felt? Like how have you felt yourself progress over the last kind of, like when you last won, maybe 12, just over 12 months ago? Like how have you felt for then, like in terms of your growth as a manager?
No, well, you're always learning, Scott. It's definitely easier being a manager when you're winning, that's for sure. But you're always learning. Last season was a huge learning curve for me, and I lost my assistant manager in the summer, and Colin Leaper, and he's my best mate also, and he was huge for me and different. But he's got two young kids and he's working. He had to give it up, so that was a blow. But then we brought in my captain Stuart McLeod, so he's just came in. We've got Gavin Moss and who's one of the coaches. So Stuggs came in and knew how it worked, and because he had worked under us as a player and he was a captain, so it's kind of just been, it's just moved on for last year. As I say, we've managed to bring in more quality players in terms of our recruitment's been for boys for the Lowland League and a couple of boys for Broxburn that went and won the Premier League. So, and they've helped the young group that we brought together last season, and we've kept on. And overall for everybody, it's been great. And for me as a manager, it's in my second season to go and win a league title. It's brilliant. And I mean, we didn't know when you win in our league. I could maybe manage for another 10, 20 years and never win in our league. They didn't come round. The Armadale last won a league 18 years ago. So to bring that back to the club, it's more for the fans and the committee and the players. And as long as I can do that, I'm happy.
When's trophy days? At Saturday?
On 17th, last game of the
season.
Last game,
you was at home last game.
But it was our first home game, and we had a wee bit. I've kind of been celebrating for a couple of weeks now because we got promoted, and then we went up to Canoe and managed to win the league when we were playing in the quarter-final. So that ended up. And then Saturday was our first home game in 6 weeks, so they made a big deal at the club, which was it's great. It's great that we had 308 at the game on Saturday.
Yeah, I've seen that actually. The amount of crowds are getting as well. Like looking again, shout out to Ryan Kelly, who does a great job getting the crowds every game for all the leagues. Like just as well, like getting I think it was on average 240 supporters at the Volley. That's really good.
No, it's incredible that since I've came in, the support has been brilliant and they've backed me. But ultimately, we've got to put the product and put a good team on the pitch, and that's what brings the fans. But hopefully we've gave them a good season and a good couple of days this year, and then hopefully we can all enjoy it together on the 17th when we get the trophy.
And just quickly on the games at the midweek and weekend, Whitburn played Tynecastle on Tuesday night, as did Lochore and Thornton. Luncarty, Hillabead on Wednesday. You've got Edinburgh South, Kirkcaldy on Wednesday as well. Just on Saturday, a couple of games to keep an eye on if you are looking for something to do. Musselburgh can obviously win the title if they beat Sauchie on Saturday. You've also got in the first division, could be big games, Lochore versus Armliston. Leith Canoe could be quite interesting then. Like Newton Grange go to Inverkeith and they're looking to obviously clinch promotion. Armadale Thistle could be quite interesting on both sides. East House is Burnt Island. You've got Vale of Leither and Oakley. Third division as well. I think every game's quite interesting, but like Hawick, Ormiston, Livingston, Edinburgh United, like they're all interesting games. Like the games are coming thick and fast. There's games every day, and they've all got something to them.
That's it, especially for the promotion side. It's a great thing to be a part of this stage of the season. So all the leagues, as we spoke about previous, they're also competitive at both ends. So that there's maybe only be 2 or 3 games to go, but there's plenty to play for, and everybody's fighting for their lives, and then our boys try to get other teams try to get promotion. So it's great. It's great for the full East of Scotland. I think it's a credit to the leagues.
Colin, I cannot thank you enough for being on the show, mate. Congratulations on a very successful season. Best of luck in the Cup, and it's been an absolute pleasure again to have you on.
Thanks very much, Scott, and you keep doing what you're doing, mate, because the coverage you give East of Scotland is fantastic, and I'm sure all the clubs will reiterate we all appreciate it, mate.
Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much to our sponsors at App and Sports as well for their tremendous support. Thank you very much for everything they've done. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you.